It is a tragedy of horrific and historic proportions. Small town, Uvalde, Texas, 14,000 people, 15 people killed inside an elementary school there this afternoon. It's at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. We know that 15 people were killed, 14 students, a teacher, the gunman also dead. We know that there are several people being treated here in San Antonio, 2 that are already at University Hospital, 2 more scheduled to arrive. We also know that this is not only being felt in our community, but across the country. The president expected to speak tonight at 7 o'clock. And our community is so often left feeling helpless in situations like this, but there is a way that you can help. There is something that you can do right now. 1 unit of blood, a donation, can help save 3 lives. Just think about that. 1 donation, 3 lives. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center along I-10 and Vance Jackson has been very busy seeing donors since the news broke in Uvalde. It's a way to help. The center immediately sent 15 units of type O blood to Uvalde by helicopter. This is video of them actually taking these boxes of blood donations to the pilots on a helicopter. The hospital there asked for 10 more. They will continue to support the hospitals treating these victims as they request more. It goes to show you just how important having a good supply of donations at our blood bank is. And it was already low, as it has been so often throughout the last 2 years, so certainly now needed more than ever. Patty Santos is live at the center, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. Patty, you've been talking to donors. We saw a wonderful sight at 5 o'clock where there was a good number of people there wanting to give. What's it like out there right now?
They're still here. A new group of them are still here, and there's still a line outside. We all just want to do whatever we can. What's available to us? Blood. Take a look. All the beds here are full, and they're just showing up, ready to roll up their sleeves right after work. Our area, as you said, has already experienced a shortage in donations, and up to today, we only had a 3-day supply. People I talk to tell me they don't like needles, but they have grandchildren, and they have teachers that they know. Others say they've never donated, but they've been putting it off, but today was the day. They wanted to come out and do what they can. Take a listen.
With kids and stuff, it hits a little differently. So, yeah, we were just like, let's just go in and see if we can help,
And I had just gotten home from seeing him, visiting him, and the news about the children, I said, I gotta go. I gotta go do it for the children and the teachers, because I have a lot of relatives that are teachers, and this is just so scary.
And the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is also going to be sending a mobile unit to the Uvalde community tomorrow morning. It is hosting an emergency blood drive tomorrow at Herbie Ham Activity Center in Uvalde from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This center right here that we're live in off of Vance Jackson and I-10, they close in about 10 minutes, but there is still a line outside, and they said they're going to stay here until they finish seeing all the folks that have shown up to donate blood today. You can donate blood tomorrow. Again, they have 7 centers in our area. You can check them out on KSAT.com. We'll send it back to you.
Patty, that is is just the people showing up to help, to give any way they can. They are going to keep their doors open until everyone who is in that line, and I imagine more will be showing up, has a chance to give. We're going to take a quick break. We do want you to know that we're going to touch on weather when we come back, because we know we got some storms people are anxiously watching out there. We'll be right back.
We're going to talk now about our chance for some severe weather tonight around San Antonio. Although we really won't see much around San Antonio until after midnight, there are a few storms out there right now in the KSAT 12 viewing area that I do want to talk about. First, let's go northwest into Valverde and Edwards County. There is a severe thunderstorm warning here for the extreme northeastern and northwestern corners of Valverde and Edwards County. This storm is moving to the east at about 25 miles per hour, and it is capable of up to about Gulf softball-sized hail. Now, it is moving over areas that are fairly unpopulated, but we'll still be keeping an eye on that. Then I want to go to the south here, right near Eagle Pass and in Maverick County. There is a storm that is capable of producing some pretty large hail that's still not crossed over the Rio Grande, but it could be, it's moving to the east at about 25 miles per hour. It could be in the Eagle Pass area here within about, let's say, through about 7 o'clock. So we're going to keep an eye on that, see if that maintains its strength. As for in Uvalde, this storm should move to the south of Uvalde and not impact that area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bigger picture, because our rain in San Antonio will be getting here after midnight. Very dynamic system across Texas right now. A cold front that's already firing off severe storms from Dallas out toward the Big Bend. And that front is going to be pushing into San Antonio overnight tonight. By 11, it's still probably going to be fairly dry around San Antonio, but that's when we're going to start to see some storms develop. And I know that rain has been wanting the last few days, but this is a very good chance with all of the ingredients coming together for some healthy rain, even perhaps some thunderstorms around San Antonio. So again, this is 11 p.m. close to midnight. That's when we may even have some severe thunderstorm warnings around Bexar County, because it's going to be along the leading edge of this front. And these storms that we could see wind gusts of up to about 70 miles per hour in spots. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that. As we head into the overnight hours closer to 3 o'clock in the morning, there will be quite a bit of rain ongoing around San Antonio. Noisy storms, quite a bit of lightning, probably some power outages. Make sure to have the KSAT Weather Authority app handy, because we can go live right to your phone if you lose power. Within this line of storms, there could be a few pockets where up to quarter-sized hail is possible, but by far the biggest threat with these storms tonight is going to be damaging wind gust potential. Then by the early morning hours, if you are an early morning commuter, you may have some showers and storms still around, especially south and east of San Antonio toward the coastal plain. As we head closer to 7-8, few damp spots out there. It may be messy at times. We'll be live on GMS Day to make sure that you know what's happening tomorrow morning as well. But then as we head into the middle of the day tomorrow, that's when the tap turns off. We actually start to see some sunshine, and it should be noticeably cooler in the afternoon tomorrow with highs only near 80 degrees. But taking a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, again, fairly quiet for the early part of this evening. Winds will be from the southeast, breezy at times, but it's after midnight that we start to be on the lookout for some severe weather. A good potential for storms, 70%. Temperatures will be falling into the 60s. Those storms, once again, could be capable of damaging wind gusts, quarter-sized hail, and because there will be pockets of heavy rain, even some minor flooding issues could be possible as well. Again, severe potential through about 4 or 5 a.m. And then as we head into the early morning hours tomorrow, some lingering showers and storms are possible, but I bet the severe weather threat is over by 7 o'clock in the morning. And then as we head into the afternoon tomorrow, 79 only for the high temperature for your Wednesday. North winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Let's take a look into the rest of the week. After our chance for storms tonight, we are going to be seeing total sunshine for the remainder of the forecast into Memorial Day weekend. Highs will be rebounding into the mid to upper 90s. Because of the chance for storms tonight, please keep that KSAT Weather Authority app handy. We are going to be live right from your hand if we need to be. Steve, Myra.
Everybody across South Texas, across the entire state and the nation right now trying to come to grips with what has happened in Uvalde today, where we know that 14 children have been shot and killed, one teacher inside of Robb Elementary. That includes San Antonio Mayor Ron Nierenberg. Obviously, you have sent out a statement today talking about your thoughts in the aftermath of this, and we had plans to talk to you about other things today, other topics, but this is now where our heads and our hearts are today. So let's talk about what the city of San Antonio is doing, because I know that resources are being sent to the Uvalde community to help out.
Well, it's certainly a sad day in America and right here in South Texas. And I think I heard Steve say it earlier, that we are wrapping our arms around Uvalde as we would in any tragic situation. That is certainly the case here. It began the moments that we heard about the emergency, and so SAPD, SWAT units, as well as our Eagle and bomb squad have been out there. Right now, CSI is working on the crime investigation, turning over anything and everything to the Texas Rangers, who are the lead agency in the response. But I think that the days that will unfold here will reveal themselves in the intense trauma that everyone is experiencing, particularly those families that have been hit with this violence, and then the community around them, and certainly people who are grieving with them all across the country at this point. And we're going to have to be ready to deal with that. And I know that some of our nonprofits here in the community are very integral to that process, to the healing process, and to dealing with the grief. I do want to say, Children's Bereavement Center is one of those really important nonprofits that deal with grief. And in the coming days and months, I'm sure that organizations like that will be called upon, and there will be plenty of opportunity for members of our community and elsewhere to assist in that response.
We know that San Antonio is playing a role, like you said, SAPD sending some resources down there. We know Bexar County has, but I'm touched this afternoon by how San Antonio seems to be responding to the need for blood, particularly O donors. We had our Patty Santos, who was at the Blood and Tissue Center, and there's a line out the door right now. You are also asking something of citizens over the next few days to show respect and to honor those who lost their lives today.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like most of us who have children, the first thing we do when we go home is we hug our children. I did that tonight. And we just have to remember that there's a whole community of people over there that are trying to do that, and many cannot. And we have to give folks the grace and understanding to know where they are in the mourning process, and we join them in that. And I'm sure there's going to be conversations about a lot of things that emanate from this, but the most important thing we can do right now is to give our shoulders to lean on for the communities that are most impacted and the families that will never be the same because of this.
And you're asking that San Antonio residents, if they have an American flag, to post it at half staff. Yeah, well, that's obviously one small measure that we can show our solidarity with the community that's in grief, and this is an American tragedy, not just one that's felt in South Texas or Uvalde. We share that grief, and we want to make sure that the folks know where we stand on that, and that we are going to stay vigilant to any way that we can help in the process, and that's just one way that we can show our solidarity with Uvalde right now. But really, Steve, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when I heard you say that anything that community needs, we're going to embrace them and try to fill that void, which will be impossible to fill totally. And you're right, Myra. It is heartwarming to see our community ask once again how we can help.
We're all parents here, and I know that we're thinking about that today. And you talk about having to explain this to a child, and I don't know how you do that. But those services that you mentioned, it's nice to know that there is help. There are places like the Ecumenical Center.
Yes.
There are places like the Children's Bereavement Center where we can get help as well as adults to try to share what information we can.
And there really is no explanation, Myra. I think that's part of what we have to deal with as this unfolds, is that there is no explaining this to a child or an adult. This is a tragedy beyond proportions if you're one of those families, and that's what they're dealing with right now, and we have to be there to deal with it, deal with it with them, and so again, here we are once again. And
when Myra was talking there, I was reminded of some of the signs that I saw in Sutherland Springs after the shooting, after this horrific thing happened, that evil will not win, that love is stronger than evil. And that's what I'm thinking, especially, when you think of what has happened to this town and what the emotions it brings up for so many of us. It should unite us as a people to just, if nothing else, say what happened today is wrong.
It should. I hope it does. And the eternal.
And I don't want to get into I don't want to get into politics
Sure,
and all
yeah.
that. I mean, it's just like we need to help in whatever way we can this community.
That's right. That's right. And that's the eternal truth, is that we are united in triumph and tragedy, and we remain so regardless of the days that go by. And if we can remember that as events move further into the distance, that would be the most important part of this. Is to understand that we're still dealing with these tragedies from 10 years ago, and we need to be there for each other as we do it.
We need to be there for each other.
Yeah, and anybody watching this in Uvalde, of course, we're having this conversation with you as a leader here in San Antonio. We're here in San Antonio, but I know we want people to know that we're here for them. We're going to, we'll echo the words that you started with, that Steve did as well, wrap our arms around Uvalde to get all of us through this, as there are so many questions and so many emotions to wade through in the years to come here. Mayor, thanks for being here on a day like today with us.
Thank you, guys, and God bless you both.
Take care.
You as well.
We'll be right back.
All right, we've got to talk about the weather tonight, because there is the possibility for some severe weather for San Antonio pretty much after midnight. But there's already some severe thunderstorms out there for our friends off in the west, especially near Eagle Pass and in northern Edwards and Valverde counties. So let's go ahead and take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be impacting Eagle Pass within the next 30 minutes. So Eagle Pass, the severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7:15. This storm, which is still in Mexico, is going to be crossing the Rio Grande, and anywhere you see this purple color here, that's where that storm is capable of up to quarter-sized hail. So it's moving to the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So that potential hail core will be impacting the Eagle Pass area just here by 7:05. So if you are in Maverick County and in the severe thunderstorm warning, you need to be inside and away from windows. Hail up to the size of quarters is possible, with frequent lightning as well as gusty winds of up to 60 miles per hour. Let's go up to the north, where we've got another severe thunderstorm warning. These are for areas in relatively low populated sections of Valverde County. Although Juneau, you are under that severe thunderstorm warning there. This severe thunderstorm warning for Valverde County in effect until 7:30. Once again, the main concern here is going to be quarter to $half sized hail moving through Juneau momentarily. All right, let's take a look at the big picture, because again, we are expecting to see severe weather in San Antonio after midnight. From midnight on to about 7 o'clock in the morning, we could see showers and storms, some of which could be strong or severe. A very dynamic system with a cold front. That cold front already sparking severe thunderstorms, and a watch for a severe thunderstorm from Dallas all the way down to Valverde County. What to look out for, what to plan for. Plan for a line of storms from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. They're going to be noisy. You might wake up in the middle of the night. Frequent lightning, gusty winds, heavy downpours, probably some power outages as well. Plan for widespread rainfall of about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. So healthy rain, pockets of 2+ inches of rain. These are the things that we're watching for, though. Severe wind gusts of up to about 70 miles per hour, and potentially some quarter-sized hail, as well as even some flooding issues could be possible wherever the heavier rainfall totals fall. Let's take a look at the high-res futurecast here. Tonight, by about 11 p.m., it'll still be fairly dry around San Antonio, but we'll start to see that line of storms move into the hill country. And then as we head close to midnight, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to get some warnings around San Antonio, because it's going to be along the leading edge of these storms that we could have wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. As we head into the overnight hours from about midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see more widespread showers and storms across the KSAT 12 viewing area, specifically the metro area. And within this line, you can notice there could be some intense parts of storms capable of up to quarter-sized hail, but by far the greatest risk tonight is going to be damaging winds of up to about 70 miles per hour. Then as we head into the early morning, perhaps the early morning commute, it could still be damp in spots. There could, even by that point, we probably will have received up to 1 inch to 2 inches of rain in some spots, which could create some flooding issues. And by about mid-morning, we'll be seeing those showers and storms come to an end, and our rain chances are done. I know that rain has been pretty measly over the last few days, but tonight's rain chance is the best rain chance we've had, and things are coming together where showers and storms are fairly certain in the overnight hours. But for this early evening portion of the night, we are not expecting much in San Antonio other than those storms out west. And then after midnight, that's when we have that severe potential. Widespread showers and storms are likely, potentially producing up to 70 mile per wind gust and also pockets of quarter-sized hail. Then we'll see the tap turn off after 7 o'clock in the morning, and so we'll be seeing a beautiful day after that shot of rain. 79 degrees for the high temperature in San Antonio. It will be breezy with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Gonna be hot over the remainder of the week. Let's toss back to Steve and Myra.
Yeah, that news conference beginning in Uvalde. Let's take you there live now.
Please understand, at this time, we come to you to share information. We will be providing a statement and not taking any questions, for the investigation is not complete. This is a tragic time in our district, and we greatly appreciate your patience and understanding. Here to provide a short statement and not take any questions is our Uvalde CISD Chief of Police, Pete Arredondo.
I don't see you. Switch. Yeah.
Would you like me to do this again? Let's do this again. Here.
Sure.
I apologize. I did not realize we were not on, and you probably could not hear what I was saying. I am Anne Marie Espinoza, Executive Director of Communications and Marketing for Uvalde CISD. This is a tragic time in our district, so please know the investigation is not complete. We will only be sharing a statement with you, not providing questions. We greatly appreciate your patience and understanding. Here to share a statement and not take questions is our Uvalde CISD Chief of Police, Pete Arredondo.
Thank you. Good evening. Again, briefly, as of now, we're still working on this active investigation. Once we're able to provide information to the families, we will do so. First and foremost, obviously, our priorities is to get information to our families and give them some information. So please bear with us in regards to that. Secondly, once we do get some information that we can release to the public, we will be doing that. So please know, once we do get some information, we will share that with you and call another press conference. Let me assure you, the intruder is deceased, and we are not actively looking for another individual or any other suspects in this case. We definitely ask you all to keep the families that are involved in your prayers. Thank you so much.
Here to provide a statement and not take any questions is our Superintendent, Dr. Hal Harrell.
Good evening. This was a tragic and senseless event today, and my heart was broke today. Our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with all our families as we go through this day and days to come. A few announcements that we need to make is, beginning tomorrow at 10 a.m., we will have grief counseling and support at the Civic Center for our students, our staff, community members, anybody that needs to come at that time. And we may be there more than one day, may be there several days. Our ROB staff will meet at 8 a.m. at the Civic Center as well. We'll begin with visiting with them and seeing what those needs are. School will be closed. The school year's done. We will have no school tomorrow or Thursday. All activities are canceled throughout the district. No graduation is on people's mind. We will come out with a notice on that at a later time. All the staff members they will report to their campuses, other than Robb campus, which will come to the Civic Center. Again, my heart was broken today. We're a small community, and we will need your prayers to get us through this. Thank you.
Again, this is a tragic event in our community. We are very sorry that we cannot provide you more information, but greatly appreciate your patience and understanding during this very difficult time. We ask that you pray for all of the families affected. Thank you, and be safe.
All right, that is a briefing that just wrapped up a press conference. You were watching it live from the Fairplex complex in Uvalde. Struck by the superintendent there, who said, "My heart is broken today. We need your prayers to get us through this." Also announced the school year is done in Uvalde, and they will start grief counseling with the Robb Elementary staff at 8 a.m. tomorrow, 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Civic Center. Anybody
or anyone
who needs grief counseling in Uvalde invited, and he said they will be there as long as they need to be.
And before we heard from Hal Hara, the superintendent, we also heard from the Uvalde CISD police chief, essentially just saying this is an ongoing investigation. Not many new details came out of that briefing, but he did say that the shooter in this case is dead, has been shot and killed. They're not looking for anyone else who was involved here, but a lot of questions that have yet to be answered, and a lot of that grieving process that has already begun. But certainly the community there will be getting help with that tomorrow morning.
And I think that was the police chief trying to put to rest. There are a lot of rumors out on social media, a lot of people, thinking this was X, Y, or Z. We're just giving you the facts. 15 people were killed inside Robb Elementary today. The alleged gunman is dead, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. He was a student at Uvalde High School. That's the details we know right now. We do know that among the wounded, a Border Patrol officer who arrived on scene. We also know that there are at least 2 people being treated here in San Antonio University Hospital. 2 more are supposed to be en route to San Antonio. We also know there are a number, between 13 and 15 at least, wounded that are being treated at Uvalde Memorial Hospital.
And if there is something you want to do, check out our website right now. Donations of blood are desperately needed. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. After we just heard a very brief press conference there from officials within the school district in Uvalde, we want to go back now to some of our crews that are on the ground at the various locations there in the city. Our Garrett Berger, he is standing by and has been outside of the school there, I believe. Robb Elementary, where all of this happened. This is in a neighborhood. There are homes right across the street from where this school is, where this shooting took place. Garrett, have you been able to talk to anybody there about their reaction to this, what this community is going through at this moment?
Live in the area, everyone very much feeling shocked and hurt, obviously saddened by this, the senseless loss of at least 14 young lives plus a teacher. That's the latest count that we know. Unfortunately, with this, we don't have a lot of details as of yet about how this all went down, but we do know that it is tearing at the heart of this small town that's about an hour, or the small city that's about an hour and a half west of San Antonio. If you look around the area here, you can see there is a lot of law enforcement still on the scene. We've got federal, state, and local law enforcement all around the school. This was supposed to be the end of classes was supposed to come in 2 days. We're 2 days away from summer break. Now we just heard in that press conference that school is ending immediately in the most tragic circumstances possible. we're seeing law enforcement go around the building. We're not entirely sure where they're at with their investigation. We did hear that there are no other suspects that they're looking for. So at this point, it's just a matter of putting together all of the shattered pieces from this morning and afternoon. Now we know that it did take a while. We heard from police that they had the shooter in custody at a little after 1 o'clock when the first call for the shooting came out, or the first information that we saw posted online had happened more than an hour before. So we're still waiting to hear exactly how this all happened. But I did talk with one neighbor who said she rushed home because her 13-year-old granddaughter was at home as soon as she heard about the shooting. And she saw what she thinks was the shooter taken out of the building by law enforcement, tried to be put in the back of a squad car, a fire unit, and then finally taken away in the ambulance. She believes it was the shooter. You'll be hearing from her on the night beat. Live in Uvalde, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News. Back to you.
All right, Garrett, and we said, thank you for that report, by the way. We said earlier that the fear is that the number of dead may rise. The Associated Press just reporting now that there are 18 students who have been killed at Robb Elementary and 3 adults. That's a total of 21 people that were shot and killed by the gunman, the 18-year-old Uvalde high school student. 18 students, 3 adults.
We'll be right back.